Welcome. This is still the Premier League preview show. Welcome to the debate segment where we try and joust each other intellectually, pick a side on a very interesting motion, and argue our points out to convince the jury. Today, very interesting question. Who claims fourth spot on the Premier League table? Who claims fourth spot on the Premier League table? If you have a look at the table, there's West Ham, there's Man United, there's Spurs, and there's Arsenal. Technically, these four teams are in the hunt for one spot. So after game day 38, one of these four teams will finish fourth and grab the fourth automatic spot in next season's UEFA Champions League group stage. So we are asking, which of these teams will finish fourth in the Premier League at the end of the season? Daniel, you go up first. Which team will finish fourth? Manchester United. How are they going to finish fourth? Will this yo-yo Dr. Jekyll and Hyde type of life in the Premier League?
The good thing is that now 3 out of those 4 teams have only the Premier League to focus on. Mm-hmm. And most recently, Man United from Tuesday night, right? Yeah, got kicked out of the Champions League. They are not in the FA Cup. Carabao Cup is over, and it's now focus on the Premier League. Same as Arsenal, same as Spurs. But I say Man United because of the remaining fixtures. And if you can see, that would be nice. If you can see the remaining fixtures for the 4 teams in the running, that would be nice. But it is, I say Man United because of that fact. Look, Arsenal and Spurs have to face each other. That is difficult. Arsenal need to go to Chelsea. Arsenal have already faced Liverpool. They've already lost that game. And if you look at they have to go to Crystal Palace, which is very difficult. Mm-hmm. This weekend, they are going to Aston Villa. And you see, those fixtures are away from home, so that makes it a bit more tricky for them. And
they've got Spurs.
They've got Spurs. They've
Man
got
City.
they've already faced Man City.
Okay,
So they have Spurs. They have Chelsea. Then they have
Man United.
Man United themselves at home. So I feel, honestly speaking, I think that's the game that will decide what exactly is going to happen. I'm not considering West Ham because I feel there will be a bit. It will be like Man United in Mourinho's first season, where they were in the latter stages of the Europa League and then in the fighting for the top 4. And then they left the Premier League and went for the Europa League. West Ham are facing Lyon in the quarterfinals, which is a very winnable tie. If they win that, I can bet you they will forget what is happening in the Premier League, because at that point, silverware is more important than finishing in the Champions League. If David Moyes can even finish in the Europa League spots, which looks like he will, in back-to-back seasons with this squad and this budget that he has, that is brilliant already, and I'm sure the guys at West Ham will already appreciate that. Finishing in the top 4, I don't think that was a target for this season. I genuinely don't think that was a target for this season, because any team that was looking to finish in the top 4 would have done some serious business in the summer, which they didn't necessarily do. They rather lost the player who was responsible for them finishing the Europa League spots in Jesse Lingard, and they couldn't make that deal permanent even in January. So it doesn't look like the guys in charge of West Ham had put top 4 football as something they had to achieve at the end of the season. It was, I feel, finishing in the European spots, whether in the Conference League or the Europa League spots, is what they actually want. So I think if push comes to shove, they will leave the Premier League, make it an afterthought, and concentrate on the Europa League, which looks very winnable.
But you mentioned Man United, and we've seen United's inconsistencies, and I asked you that. You don't think those inconsistencies could derail this plan and derail your prediction?
Look, that's why I'm taking it team by team. So I'm down with West Ham, and I feel that's the reason why they can't finish. For Tottenham Hotspur also, they are more inconsistent than Manchester United. And if you look at the fixtures they also have to play, you can't really tell. You can't put your foot down and say they will qualify. It still looks very dicey for them. That game against Arsenal is extremely difficult for them. They have quite a number of. They are going to Liverpool. They are going to Anfield, and that is a straight down loss. Look, you might talk about how they face Manchester City and things, but you see Manchester City's approach. You could look at Tottenham, look at their strengths and say, yes, they could go out and hit Manchester City. But Liverpool don't approach games like that. And at that point in the season, Liverpool is not going to drop points. Let's not kid ourselves. So that's a straight down loss. and you know they will drop points in some of the winnable games that they have. That is Tottenham Hotspur. I think the spirit is in the team. It's not necessarily the manager. Okay. And they will choke. That is fact. They will choke. It's now between Man United and Arsenal. And for Arsenal, look, they've not... This might sound controversial, but Arsenal have not done... Their runs this season have not surprised me.
Okay.
Because they've gone on runs where the games on paper they are supposed to win.
Oh, but you beat what is in front
exactly.
of you.
But you see, when you want to show your championship mettle or your ability to crack something that you've not done in a while, there are some 1 or 2 games or 1 or 2 fixtures that are standouts. Right. Like against Liverpool. If you play like that, you should at least draw. That will give people that indication that there's something has changed.
So you feel that Arsenal will have problems finishing?
They'll have problems. We saw at the beginning of the season when after those 3 games in a row that they lost, they went on this nice run when they were winning. Then they came up against Man United at Old Trafford without a coach, and they lost. That is them. Okay. They've gone on this nice run again. Come at home against Liverpool with so much momentum. They had enough chances to boss the game, and they lost. I feel for Man United, apart from that Liverpool game, which they will lose at Anfield, look, if you look on paper, the difficult games are at home. So you have, apart from Everton, who they'll go away, but Lampard is not going to be Man United. Apart from Everton that they have away from home, you expect them to win that game. There are a number of winnable games in that series leading to the end of the season. I think the most difficult one on paper, bar the Liverpool game, which I'm not looking at because it's a loss, is the game against Arsenal. And you see, when it comes down to, I've seen Arsenal against the big teams this season. No matter their form, they still find a way to crumble. And that is my problem. I feel Man United will beat them on the day.
Sydney, thoughts? You don't have as much time as Daniel has, unfortunately.
Well, my point is simple. I think it's Arsenal's supposed to lose. Although Daniel has made some good points about Arsenal, about their history, and about.
But it says Arsenal's spot to lose. You don't necessarily think they will nail it, but you think they are in a good position.
Yeah, I think they're in a good position to win it, and I think, I think they're in a good position. I think they would also win it. They will also clinch it because Daniel has shown us the fixtures coming up and all that, and he has made a good point that you only beat who was in front of you. And I'm comparing that to what United have shown us this season. And I believe that, well, when it comes down to it, it's the teams who you have to beat, the teams you're expected to beat. Beating them is what's going to be key in getting this top 4 position. I don't think United will get a point against Liverpool as well.
Okay, 0.
But the difference between United and Arsenal for me is Arsenal, over the past couple of months or weeks, have shown that when it comes to a team that's supposed to beat, they will go out and beat them. They did it against Watford. They did it against Leicester City. They did it. They've done it for some time now. You look at United. United had Watford at home. You played a 0-0 draw. Yeah. United had Southampton at home. You played a 1-1 draw. And even this Spurs game that we just won 3-2, it wasn't a convincing performance. There wasn't the abundance of chances you expect.
At this point of the season, do you look out for the performance or the result?
Look for
these are the fixtures, just to put things into context. So you've seen this is what Arsenal has to do towards the end of the season. Now, United have got to play some very odd games there. Leicester, Everton, Liverpool, Brentford, all these ones. West Ham have got Spurs, Everton, Brentford, Burnley, Chelsea, Arsenal, Norwich, Man City, and Brighton. West Ham, okay, I think it's swapped. Okay, Spurs, they've got West Ham, sorry. Newcastle, Villa, Brighton, Brentford, Leicester, Liverpool, Burnley, Norwich, and Arsenal. So that's how it looks like for the rest of the season for these 4 teams. These are their various fixture lists. These are the journeys they have to embark on. These are the hurdles they have to surmount. Sydney, and you still think Arsenal
I think
can finish?
As I was saying, I think against Aston Villa will be a bit tricky, but Arsenal and Crystal Palace, that London derby, they do have good form against Crystal Palace. When they miss themselves, even at Selhurst Park, they do tend to get good results. Brighton, I think they'll win that match. I think they'll beat Southampton. If it comes to Chelsea, they might lose that game. But Arsenal at Chelsea is not always cut and dry. They have gotten a lot of surprising results. They get draws here and there, even when.
But it's at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, at Stamford Bridge last season, they got a draw. You know, even during the time when David Luiz to go and get himself sent off early in the game,
they still draw with. It wasn't a Lampard who they drew with.
Lampard. So last season when they played Chelsea, didn't they get a draw last season?
Yeah, it was Lampard.
They did.
So it doesn't count.
So this is a different coach.
Anybody who beats Lampard.
Well, we'll see what happens. But I think that they have enough. They have enough. And I think United are not convincing against the teams they're supposed to convince against, which was my key point. And I believe when United face Arsenal at the Emirates, Arsenal will get the victory. Okay. Because if you look at past couple of seasons and positions where Arsenal have to win against United, they do get the result. They beat United 2-0 recently, I think 2 seasons ago. Last season, it was not really mad, but they still got a 0-0 draw. When United were gunning for the title, they had to win that game. They were unable to win it. So I think the odds are in Arsenal's favour to get the top 4.
Interesting stuff there. Interesting stuff. Wherever you are, you can continue the debate. I'm sure you can draw up the fixture list and do a comparison and do a what-if table and all of that to see who finishes 4th in terms of this season's Premier League campaign. This is still the Premier League preview show. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, a quick look at your messages, and then we get into the FPL zone. Very tricky weekend, so you need to pay attention, or else you waste points, not get anything, and fall further down like how I've done in terms of your own fantasy league with your friends. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is still the Premier League preview show on Citi TV.